Hello, everybody, and welcome to season 3 of Nothing But the Tea with me, Jemima Ndebele, and I am joined by the lovely Paul.
Well, it's the first time we called lovely. Well, thank you very much for having me on today's podcast.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So as you guys can see, we're out of studio and we are at Club Mint simply because of today's conversation, which I look forward to having, which is hiding in plain sight. Paul, what does that mean to you? What does hiding in plain sight mean to you?
Hiding in plain sight. It could mean a lot of things. Personally, when I hear that term, it could be, somebody who has something going, but people can't really see it. It's like a hidden gem or a hidden talent or anything that you don't really bring out that is right there, but people don't really notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's also, in this day and age, hiding in plain sight could, for me, means hiding from yourself. Could also mean that, because I think with the clubbing culture in Namibia, that is just, it keeps on growing at an exponential rate.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, you're
I work in
club
the club.
host sometimes.
Yeah.
So, as a club host, why do you think people go clubbing? I really want to get into this.
There's a lot of reasons people can go to the club. I wouldn't put it to one specific reason because people are different. All of us are individuals, but there's one thing that we all love. Mostly, it could be music. It could be the socializing. Other people go out just for the food. So there's many reasons why people go to the club, and the way I see it, the number one reason is to just to do something different, especially if you go like a 9 to 5 or you have a stressful day or you want to go and have something fun. And I think the whole music and the drinks and the hookah and whatever it is that you find at the club, gives you a sense of escape and say, a reward system, if I should say, I deserve this fun, and that's what I believe. That's the reason why people do go to the club.
So do you then say, would you then say it's a means of like running away from one's problems?
Well, not necessarily running. I would say taking a little break or so. People are fun in different ways. Personally, if I was not working there, I would actually be home playing FIFA. That's what I do to, let me say, take a break and disconnect from the everyday stress of life. And everybody has something different that they do like. But other people go out for the wrong reasons also. You could be looking for a new partner, I don't know. You just got over, or you're just going through a breakup, you're trying to find something new, I don't know. So there's many reasons. And that's what I like about the club. It's so fascinating. It's like so many different personalities in one place.
Yeah. For different reasons.
For different reasons. I could be sitting next to you and I've got no idea what you're going through.
Exactly.
But we're over there enjoying the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fascinating.
But I want to know. I really want to know, because you went from being like a television kid star. That's where you started, essentially.
You do your research.
Yes, always. I'm a journalist at heart. Yeah. But I want to know, what then drew you to the clubbing scene?
It's funny, my career has been, and a lot of people ask me, like, what do you do exactly? My career has got a fortunate thing of everything being gelled together at the same time. When I started doing TV, that was in high school, but I never used to go to the club actually at that time. I remember it was 11th grade, 2007. I did an audition for a kids show. It was a singing competition because I loved singing in my living room. That time MTV Base just came out in Channel O, and we used to put out videos on DVDs and VCDs, and I always wanted to express my talent like that. I would sing along to songs and people were like, oh, you sound good, So I sang, and then all of a sudden I joined my uncle on radio. So I used to do a radio thing So I was doing TV and radio at the same time. Then I started DJing in 2010.
Yeah.
I remember I went to my friend's spot. He was playing there. He's like, oh, come and check out my club where I play. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I saw he was DJing, and I'm like, I actually love music.
Yeah.
I can actually do this too. So then I started DJing with him. So if I look at it, actually, I've been DJing for 12 years now. It seems like a long time. But it's just been the interest that I have. So I always used to go out just for the music. It reached a point where if I go to a place where the music is not lit, then we're going to move. Go somewhere else. And I remember I used to go out just for the music, just to enjoy the music. It's loud, it's, you can dance, nobody's really...
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Because that's ultimately what the groove is about. It's about the vibe.
Exactly.
But I think also with that comes people misunderstanding what it... And it really sounds like I'm coming for people that love clubbing. I love clubbing too. But I
Never
think...
seen you in the club. Okay.
Yeah, but I do enjoy it. I really do enjoy it simply because of the music as well, because I love dancing. I think dancing is a form of expressing for me. But I think sometimes you find that people sort of tend to overdo it sometimes. And it's not even just with clubbing. It's really not just with clubbing. It comes with, that thing of trying to find your comfort at the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah. What you did say there is a very key point when you say overdo it. It could be anything. They say too much of anything is bad. Even if you ask the doctor, if you drink too much water, it's not a good thing. If you're just eating fruits, too much of anything is bad. So whatever it is that you look at, it's not good for you. So finding comfort at the bottom of the bottle, what you just said now, very interesting point. Because if you ask somebody, why do you drink?
Yeah.
It would again spring up different reasons. Some people just like, I just like the taste, or...
Why do you drink, Paul?
I actually don't even drink that much. I never used to drink, I remember I've got a friend of mine who's promoting Jägermeister. Yeah, so he always used to bring like the samples to my house. Be like, yo, let's try out this, you try it out. It's like, okay, it's all right, it's chilled. So I actually don't drink. Like, I've never been drunk. So for me, it's not something that I do. I can literally...
So you're going to tell me you have no drunk stories?
No drunk stories
Not
at all.
even one?
You can ask Hancho. I don't think he's never ever seen me drunk. Telling you, hey, Hancho, you ever seen me drunk? No, no response. Yeah, I've never been drunk. I am... if you ask most people, they actually know that I don't drink. Yeah, this is actually a very recent thing. This is 2 months ago. Like the whole Jägermeister tasting. So it's not something that I do and say, I really want to drink. No. I love my water and soft drinks. Though I'm trying to tone down on the soft drinks. I'm just trying to do the juice now. But I do know why people drink. Because I've got different...
why do you think people drink?
I mean, there's one that's a little obvious in terms of we all have problems, And sometimes if you look at what alcohol does, it actually does relax you. It slows down your cognitive functions. It slows down your stress and your anxiety, all that stuff. And people like the feeling of that escape, You could have the biggest problems in the world. But I think when most people do, have a little bottle or... It goes different ways. Some people escalate, but most people do tone down and say, you know what, after drinking, I'm calling it a night. You sleep, tomorrow is a new day, and you just escape for that time. Now, like you did mention, too much of anything is bad. It reaches a point where some people just cope with alcohol. They make it a coping mechanism, such that they can't do without it. And I think that's when it becomes dangerous.
I think with coping mechanisms, it's the exact reason that people hide in plain sight.
Exactly.
Because with that comes, I think, with drinking or finding your comfort and using substances as a coping mechanism, it gets to a point where and I've been in that situation, and this is me being honest, open, and transparent. Really? I'm not saying I was an alcoholic, no.
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, somebody bring it up. Yeah,
but I mean, you get to that point where you use substances to really run away from yourself. And not even substances, people as well. To that point where you don't even want to be in your own company. And I think that is also ties into what hiding in plain sight means for me. Because it's like, I'm running away from something, but that something is me.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So what do you then think healthy coping mechanisms would then be? Because, I mean, we all go through trials and tribulations. That is no secret.
I was telling a friend of mine this story that why I like myself is I wouldn't say too self-sufficient, but I do enjoy my own company. As such that I don't need a lot of extra stuff to be happy. A lot of people do not really build that thing of this is who I am, this is what I like, and if you don't, then we're cool.
Would most you say it stems from like lack of self-identity?
That, and also maybe self-confidence, and a lot of people just want to be wanted, man. A lot of people want to be seen.
And
you know?
understood.
Yeah, understood. Everybody wants that. I mean, if we were in a relationship and I tell you my problem, you don't understand me, then probably I'm going to leave and find somebody else who does.
Yeah.
You know? So it always comes to that, like knowing yourself and knowing your limits and knowing, once you know who you are, it's a very powerful thing to do. And I remember when I was growing up, a lot of people that I would chill with, you know, I'm glad that I chilled with the right people. And that's the reason why I actually never been drunk for so long. Because a lot of people know I never touch it. If you bring it, I'll say no. Take a shot if it's your birthday. But other than that, we were always focused on goals and building each other, you know. And I feel like the company you keep shapes who you are.
Truly, because
know?
ultimately you are the sum of the people that you spend most of your time with.
They always say a product of your environment. So that's
Yeah.
why it's important that if you've got a strong, and it's nobody's fault. You know, we all grow up differently. Sometimes maybe you never had the kind of love and support in your family. You're not used to dealing with problems head on. You're not used to speaking out because you'd be beaten up or judged.
Yeah.
You know, so then you
It's generational, and that's a childhood trauma, and you try and run away from that also.
Exactly. So this topic is very broad, but it comes down to that one thing of, you know what, I'm not understood, or I can't do this anymore, or I need a relief, I need a break, and this is what I'm gonna do. You know, but it has caused a lot of dangerous things in society now, where a lot of people end up finding themselves in situations that they don't want to find themselves in. You end up going home with who you don't want to go home with, you know, and you end up even sick. You know, because then if everybody's offering you different types of drinks and people don't know what alcohol does in terms of you can't mix certain things together and be fine tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really caused a lot of things, and I feel like a lot of people need to learn how to deal with problems the right way, which is speaking to somebody rather than turning to substances to get that away from their minds.
How do you deal with your trials and tribulations?
Luckily, I've got a lot of good friends. I would not even a lot. I would say good friends generally. I probably count them in one hand. But even as I'm sitting here, I got like a mountain of problems, you know. But I don't look like it, you know. I got
Don't
lots
look like
of them.
your problems ever.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing that I've learned. So I've always done number one, self-reflection.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a problem solver. Not one person likes to dwell.
Mope about it.
Yeah,
and so
no.
on. Yeah.
So I always try to look for solutions. But the best thing to do, obviously, is talk about it, vent, so that you don't take that frustration on somebody else, or even on your job, or your friends who didn't do anything to you. All of a sudden, you become somebody else because you did not deal with that problem initially. So once you speak about it to your best friend, or it could be your mother, I don't know, anybody else that you talk to, then it makes it a little better, where somebody gives you I hear you and I understand you, but I think you shouldn't really go about it like this. Then you kind of put up your solutions together and you deal with it. That's what I do anyway.
Yeah.
And like I said, I play FIFA. So if I'm frustrated, my team lost, it's fine. I'm going to play FIFA. I'm not going to go drink a whole bottle. No.
Down Jägermeister in 2 minutes.
Nah, not going to do that. So for me, I've got certain things that I do that are, you know, that help me get through the problems. I don't like using substances.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me personally. But talking is number one. It's very important to speak to somebody. And not everybody, but, you know.
Yeah.
I don't vent on social media as well, so that's a good part.
You're not a Twitter guy.
No.
But I think something that people really don't talk about, or maybe it's a personal thing. But have you ever been in a situation where, say for instance, you're out at the club and no, you're not working, but you're genuinely just out with your friends having a good time, and all of a sudden you just feel drained and overwhelmed, and you just don't want to be there anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely.
And I think that's something people don't talk about enough, or even not just in that moment, but even, say, for instance, going home or the next day. And that has then been coined as post-group depression.
Yeah. Sometimes you end up saying things or doing things that you didn't want to do. I see that happening a lot, where the next day asking, why did I do that, you know? But coming back to post-group depression, like I said, if you drink this, then it's a momentary relief from your problems. But tomorrow you're still going to feel the things maybe even 10 times more. You know, because then everything comes back in one go. So it's important to know why you're going out in the first place, know your limits, and know. And I'm not saying alcohol is bad or whatever, you know, it's fine. It depends on how you use it. Anything is bad, just depending on how much you use it.
Exactly.
You know, don't become a slave to these things. It can be whatever, your whiskeys and your tequilas and your whatever. But once you deal with the problem before you go out. Or if you are going out and you're going out with people who are actually going to help you with this problem, it actually becomes a better experience than going out and looking for a reason to escape from everything. Because
And
tomorrow you're
looking
gonna,
for, yeah, and looking for that comfort in people and
yeah,
in substances. It's really that thing of like, I don't even know what I'm looking for, but I hope to find it in you.
exactly,
And that
yeah.
is so, so scary, because the thing is, you don't even know what you're going to find in that next person.
It's a paradox. You're gonna walk into that place. Like I said, it's just different energies, different people. Some people you've seen before, some people never. You might see a new side of people that you never knew about. Yeah, that's why when you go out, hey, you really have to be careful who you mingle with. And coming back to one point, there's a dangerous trend going on. You know, people are spiking drinks and stuff these days.
Thanks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot ladies especially, you have to be careful because it's very rare to find ladies offering guys drinks. But the other way around, it happens a lot where, you know, guys are gonna offer you drinks or you leave your drink unattended and all of a sudden you passed out, you never know how you got to Jemima's house. You know what I'm saying? So clubbing is nice, but you always have to be vigilant as well because there's different people going out for different reasons. Some people want to do something to you. Some people are there for taking out their anger and frustration, so they're looking for a victim. Some people are, yeah, you know.
But
So
I think with clubbing, in addition to like what you said, also just knowing your why.
exactly,
And that's not just clubbing, but also generally grooving, house parties or whatever.
anything, yeah,
Knowing why. I think it's so important to live with intention, and
yeah,
in that way you don't have to hide in plain sight.
yeah.
You simply go out and enjoy yourself.
That's right.
But coming back to the point of post-grief depression, I think it's ultimately it's a toxic cycle.
It is,
Because now you go out and you try and look for something to fill that void, and you come home feeling even more emptier than what you felt.
and you're gonna do it again. And that's the
Exactly.
thing. It becomes like
Exactly.
a,
And you don't even know why you feel so drained.
yeah,
And that now you because you don't have the energy, you don't have the capacity to go out, you're stuck with yourself, the person whom you're running away from. How does one then deal with that? If you have then experienced that, of like, have you experienced it, or have you witnessed it firsthand?
yeah. I've witnessed it firsthand where, you know, you used to know somebody who was very, maybe let me say, well put together, but then they have this big problem that they probably never told you about. Then they become somebody else down the road, 6, 12 months, all they do is drink, nothing else. Like you never hear them doing anything else but going from one place to another. And then maybe they never even tell you their problem at all. And they become a worse version of who they used to be, and you're wondering why. But I think it's also because I've noticed that in Namibia we don't really have a therapy society, if I should call that. It's not normal for me to come to you and tell you need therapy,
Yeah, then
because
people
then you're gonna
assume,
look,
oh
yeah,
yeah, oh, so I'm crazy now.
exactly. That's
And
that
that's so
line right
toxic.
there. You
That's
see,
so toxic.
and I really hope, and not just because of alcohol, but it should start from the lower levels when people are still teens and going up, so that the next generation can know that therapy is okay. Because sometimes your friends will give you the wrong advice, very much just based on their experiences and assumptions. What I would tell you is based on what I know, you know. But you might find somebody out there who's a professional who might help you deal with your problem head on. And I really hope that young people start doing more therapy in Namibia because, yeah, I've known a lot of people over the years who've had big problems, but even I can't help you. You know, as much as sometimes I give the best advice, but you might not want that help from me because maybe I'll judge you, or I don't know, maybe I'll see you differently, or there's a lot of reasons why people don't want to tell their friends a certain problem. But if we make therapy a normal thing in Namibia, make it accessible as well. That's the key word, accessible. The way we're able to access pictures online, on
We
Instagram,
should be able to access therapy.
yeah, it should be as quick as that, you know, because then we can reduce a lot of suicide rates and, you know, alcoholism that's happening in society, drug abuse, and there's a lot of things that come with these problems that we run from. Yeah.
But with that as well, I think it comes having to destigmatize therapy
Yeah.
first. Because what's the point of making therapy accessible for people who struggle with alcoholism, for instance? Because the thing is, people think, your people are going to come for me for saying this, but Namibians have normalized alcoholism being cool. I truly believe that. I think alcoholism has been deemed as like yo, me bra, she's a thing. But
Yeah.
no, bruv, you need therapy.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
It's not okay.
I think a
You
lot of
cannot clap a whole Jägermeister bottle by yourself. I'm probably coming for myself here, but it's
I like
facts.
that you put yourself in the example, so that means you're speaking from a personal point of view.
No,
And that's nice because
definitely.
a lot of people like, just speaking about other people's.
Yeah.
And through this conversation, what I've noticed is you put yourself in the front and you're proud of that. And I really want to say this has been very insightful. I know we're not done, but it's nice to find somebody actually putting themselves in the conversation.
Yeah, because I think particularly with Nothing But the Tea, we like to, and I always say we like to have honest, open, and transparent conversations. And as somebody who has to moderate these conversations, I think it's important that I share my experiences as honestly and as openly as I can, because I think the best way to disseminate information and lessons is really to be relatable.
Yeah.
And in reality, the truth is that at some point, your girl was dying in a Jägermeister bottle. And so, not my proudest moments, but it happened. But I really think it's important that we have to talk about that, because it's like now it's Friday, so we're gonna drink. We have to, like, it's a culture. But you can do something else.
But like you said, I think
You
people
know?
have made it a cool thing now.
Yeah.
If you're not buying a bottle, if you're not going out, then you're very uncool, if you don't know people who can get you into these events,
Exactly.
then you're not
Exactly.
cool.
And I think that's also where that this is a different conversation, where becoming friends with socialites just to have access to certain
Yeah.
things, that's also toxic.
It is, and I'm on the other end of the spectrum in terms of a lot of people want
Yeah.
something. It's a very difficult thing to do, because then when you're faced with your problem and you think about all the people who you probably assist, or people who look for you when they want something, but then when you have your problem, you're alone. And that's what people don't realize they do when they always approach people just for stuff. It's a very dangerous thing to just be I want person. You have to make it a two-way thing, just like
Yeah.
in communication, the way we're talking here. It's a give and take situation.
Yeah.
But most of the times we take advantage of people just because of their position or whatever they have, or if it can be money or whatever, just we want to use people for
Yeah.
stuff. But the person on the other end of that might be also going through a tough time. I remember
Exactly.
I went through that period at some point where I had a very big problem, and I was very sad thinking of the number of times that people abandon you when you have your problems.
And the number of times you were there for people, and it's not
Yeah.
even on some dog, but I was there for you
Yeah.
when you were down. It's really just I would like that energy to be reciprocated.
Exactly.
you
Even you
know?
don't have to give me back money. You just show a little concern,
Exactly.
or give some positive
Yeah.
words,
Like
just
you're
so
gonna
you
be,
know.
everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah. So that's a very important thing. Thanks for bringing that up. A lot of people just want the access that comes with it. It also applies with the bottles and whatever. Most people are just going to buy you that thing, and at the end of the night, they also want something in return. Tomorrow, I don't think they're going to call you again. So,
Yeah, and I think that's also the dangerous thing that comes with hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Is that thing of you occupy these social spaces so much that you start to think, wow, these are my people.
Yeah.
Hancho is my bra.
Yeah.
But in reality, if shit hits the fan, where is this person going to be?
Exactly.
Is this person, matter of fact, you have so many, sometimes it happens that the people that are actually your friends, and pictures is such a menial thing to use as an example. But say, for instance, the people that are actually your friends, you barely have pictures with, but the people you're always grooving with, your snaps are
Yeah.
filled with them.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And it's like, but I can't even hit you up. But you
Yeah.
can tag me in a like,
Yeah.
no, there's this show happening thing. But I
Yeah.
can't hit you up when I'm in the pits. Is that even fair? Like, But I think that also comes with having to distinguish who are your friends and what type of friends you have, because it could happen, because I have different types of friends for different reasons.
Yeah.
I have all-rounded friends, or like well-rounded friends. Like this person, we can go grooving, we can talk about goals, we can do everything together. This person, now I'll only see you at the club. This person, I'll see you at church. This person, I'll see you at work. It's that sort of thing. And I think that also hiding in plain sight, it blurs your vision in that regard. It makes
does.
it so difficult for you to really, really be able to, distinguish between who is and who isn't there
that is
for
true.
you in reality. So I think with hiding in plain sight, there's so many dangers to it, but ultimately, it's nice.
Is it really?
Not the hiding part. Not the hiding part. I think we can admit that grooving is a fun
No, it is fun.
experience.
I mean, I would not discourage anybody. I just say don't overdo it. Especially if
Truly.
you're in uni and stuff. When I was in university, I feel like those are the people that party the most. But assignments are due tomorrow. You know, you have to handle your business first because my dad always used to tell me that the parties are never going to end. There's always going to be a better one. You know, yeah. So that's what I would advise somebody out there. Maybe you are just getting started in the groove, and you're thinking, damn, if I don't go this weekend, then you know, people will not think I'm cool. There's when you are done with your school and whatever, you might be partying in Dubai. You don't even know.
Yeah.
But it's always important for you to you know, handle your business first, and then you can go party. You know, because people do it the other way around. They want to make the club the priority, and then
Yeah.
everything
But you know,
else
there's this
secondary.
thing where they say, like, you can repeat the module, but not the weekend.
Ah, that's a dangerous statement. That's
They say that. they
Hey.
say that. But I think ultimately, what would you then, what have you taken away from this conversation?
I mean, I've learned that you know, it's very important for us to make positive influences cooler. Because we, as people, we always like the wrong things. I don't know why. We need to make it cool to speak about our problems with the right people. Also, make therapy cool again. And you know, let's just create a society where, you know, in as much as we club hard, but we work harder.
Exactly.
You know, don't party harder and work less. Because I know a lot of people look forward to the weekend for their own reasons. But, you know, face your problems first and then go and,
Yeah.
you know, indulge in these things with other people. Because I'm a believer in energy as well. So when you go in a place where there's so much bad energy, you might take that energy back home with you. You know what I mean? So deal with your problems while you're at home and, you know, go out there with a positive mindset and whatever. You know, by the time you get back, at least you come back as yourself. Because the clubs and the party scene and the house, they do change people, and they don't know why. But it's just because you've been hanging out with, you know, a lot of bad energy over the past
Yeah,
couple of months.
you subconsciously, you know, take that in.
You know, you start speaking like the person who you saw at the party, who looked cool. You want to dress like them, or you want to have what they have. All of a sudden, your goals are out of the window. So know yourself first, deal with yourself first, and go out there as yourself. You know what I mean? Because if people see you and they think you're not cool, then you don't have to be with them.
Yeah.
You know, don't
Your
base
tribe
yourself.
will find you.
Yeah, don't base yourself and your outlook based on how somebody else. Yeah, make sure you know yourself. If they don't want, then say it's cool, man. The exit is this side. I'll still be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for me, it's really just the whole being intentional about everything.
Yeah.
Being intentional about walking into whichever space you're going into, walking into a groove, walking into a house party or whatever. Because from my experience, I figured that it was the reason why it was easy for me to hide in plain sight, or why it went to that point, was because I wasn't intentional about it. It became so passive. Like, yeah, I am passively just going there, being with who, doing this, da 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 da. And you tend to lose yourself in there because you're realizing I am living my life on autopilot, and I'm
Yeah.
not taking control of doing this because I want to. I want to do this. I want to go dancing tonight, so I'm going to. You know, so it's really just being intentional about it. There's nothing wrong with grooving. It's always a good time.
That is true.
So from Paul to Prince and I, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Next week on Nothing But the Tea.
I'm going to do it. So we cannot call that originality, because
That's straight up plain.
yeah. That's why the idea that originality is dead is derived from that. Honestly, because we are just everything we're doing is for clout.
Do anything for clout.
We do anything for clout. Everything
it's
we're doing
sad.
it for clout. We are looking at the amount of numbers something is
Ideas
doing.
pool.
Yeah.
And because I think that's also, I think TikTok is such a good example of originality being dead, but at the same time be coexisting and so alive.